Okay, so we're gonna get started. So Tina isn't here today because she's at clinical, but I'm Jules and I'm your VP, so I'll be running this meeting today. So let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see that? Okay, so today, basically, we're going to be doing announcements and then a quick little icebreaker. We just need to make a little bit of a modification on that because not many people are here, but I'm glad you guys are because we're presenting on new grad residency programs and also some NCLEX information. And we also have a guest speaker here today. She is an alumni from nursing, and after that, we have a special raffle. So make sure you guys stay as long as you can. And then, so announcements, nothing really specific on, date wise, but we are extending board applications. We're not quite sure how long, maybe another week. We're going to finalize that. And so just make sure to look back through the emails for, the descriptions of the roles if you're still interested, and make sure to send in your video to Tina. Her email, she sent it, so it's under there, and then also fill out that board application. But just to remind everyone that by the time you take up your position, if you are elected, you must be a paying NSA member and NSNA member. So that's just something to remember.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Brittany, the membership director. So I just wanted to make some quick but really important announcements. First of all, our hours deadline, as we've been promoting since last fall for spring and summer 2021 grads, it's March 15th at 11:59 p.m. There will be no exceptions, and this only applies to upcoming grads who wish to earn their NSA code for graduation. And everyone else can continue submitting your hours throughout the school year. And I've already emailed everyone, every single upcoming grad about their hours, so you should already know where you're at right now. And I also made a QR code that Harmony will talk about, and they're on our website as well. And we have a club cumulative total of 1,072.85 hours. So stay, like Julia said, for the entirety of the meeting if you want to be in a little raffle. And please keep your cameras on throughout the meeting so I can take attendance and then record hours for those who agreed today. That's it. Thank you.
So the QR codes are there to access our volunteer opportunities. I also put the link in the chat. Just make sure that when you're on the document, you look at the bottom for all the little tabs because we have like over 13 opportunities. So pay attention to the deadlines and how you actually obtain those hours.
Okay, guys, my name is Michaela. If we haven't met, I am the secretary treasurer right now. So I have one quick announcement before I explain our icebreaker. I just wanted to bounce off what Brittany was talking about. And in order to get your graduation cord, while you had to get your hours, you still had to pay your NSA dues, which were $40 for the lifetime membership, and your NSNA dues. That option was either to buy a 1-year membership or a 2-year membership. So I just want to make that clear. I know there was some emails I was sending back and forth. People thought there was maybe just one thing you had to purchase, but there are 2 memberships. So that's that. Now I'm going to explain the icebreaker, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. We were going to be putting you into breakout rooms, but this is just like one large breakout room. So we're going to have one round where I can list off some items, and basically you are going to go in your house and get the item, and the first person to bring it back essentially wins. So we're going to do one round. We want to get some winners from that, and then we'll have a final round. And the winner is going to get a $20 Starbucks gift card. So this is only one of the potential gift cards you can win today. We're also going to be giving some $25 gift cards at the end if you needed any more incentive to stay. So I'm going to, if everyone has their cameras on and they want to participate, it's all fun and games. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 items on a list. And so the objective is you're literally just going to get up out of your seat. You're going to go find the item. You're going to come back. You're going to put it on camera. And all of us board members are going to be watching. And we're going to say who won. The person who gathers the most, you kind of get the objective, right? Like it's a scavenger hunt in your house for these things. Okay. Are we all good? Anyone want to add to my little explanation? Did I miss anything? No? Okay. Are board members participating? Like, I just need to know how many people, how many eyes do we have on the screen to see who's winning?
Do any board members want to play?
No pressure. You can if you want. It's $20, guys, to Starbucks. We all love Starbucks.
I think we could play if we feel up to it.
Okay. I'm going to stay and I'm going to watch.
Me too. I'll watch too.
Okay, so we have 2 board members watching. So like be super dramatic if you find it, okay? Are we ready? So the first item, you might have this right next to you, is gonna be a highlighter. Oh, I saw Harmony, I saw Beth. Jules, who'd you see?
I saw Harmony.
Okay.
Let's go Beth, since I'm a board member.
Okay.
Beth, you get 1. All right, they're gonna get harder, hopefully. The second item, this also might be next to you right now. A piece of paper, any piece of paper, go. Kylan, I saw that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that.
No more hints. I'm not going to tell you where these things should be. Okay, third item, are we ready? Phone charger, go. Ooh, Brittany Cole. Okay, I saw Kylan. I saw Beth. Okay. Brittany, you were quick.
Yeah.
I'm literally charging my phone right here. So
Oh, I get it. Okay. The fourth, wait, is this the fourth item? I think so. All right, ready? A book, like an actual book. All right. Okay, I saw a couple.
I saw a lady.
Yeah, I saw lady too. Okay. We have a lot of people who have 1 point. So let's see if one of the people who has 1 right now gets the last one, then they'll advance, and then we might just advance everybody. We'll see. Okay, the last item. Ready? A shoe. Beth.
Yeah, I saw Beth.
Good job. Okay, so Beth has 2, Kylan has 1, Brittany has 1, Lady has 1.
We could just advance them all.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Okay,
Round 2.
so everyone who didn't advance, if you could, so it's like easier for us if you could turn off your camera, maybe.
Yeah, so we should see Beth, Kylan, Brittany, and Lady. I can shut mine off too, so I'm not like confused.
Okay, so I have the second list. So the first one is a cup or a mug.
Beth. Okay.
The next one is something green.
Kylan and Beth literally did the same motion at the same time.
I think I saw Kylan first.
Okay, I'm giving Kylan 1.
Okay.
Kylan 1, Beth 1.
Okay. A clothes hanger.
Brittany.
Brittany. Okay.
So far, 3 people tied. Beth, Kylan, and Brittany. All of you have 1.
Okay, there are 2 more items. If it's still tied, I might have to add another one. A key or a set of keys?
Beth.
Beth.
Good job. Okay, Beth, you can maybe take the cake right here. You got to get 1 more.
Okay. Hand sanitizer.
Oh! Awesome job. Okay, Beth. If you just want to put the best email address for you down in the chat, I'll email you your Starbucks gift card, okay?
Thank you.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
guys. I literally like live in my room. So
No, it's fine. It was awesome. Thank you guys all for participating. I hope you thought it was fun.
Thank you. Okay, so next we're going to continue on to do the presentations about the residency programs and the NCLEX. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Okay, so the first one we have on the list is Providence. So Danny, our historian, made this one, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it today. So I'll be presenting this information. So he did his research on Providence's TIP program, and Providence includes Mission Hospital, St. Joe's, and St. Jude's, and their new grad residence lasts from 8 weeks to 30 weeks. And it's offered 3 times a year in the winter, spring, and fall, so just not the summer. And specialties include critical care, ER, med-surg, tele, perinatal, and a lot more. And in order to apply to the TIP program, you must submit a resume, 3 references, a letter of intent, and meet other requirements such as having a valid BLS license. And you can use your phone to scan that QR code on the upper right corner for more information.
Cool. So the next one is Memorial Care. This covers in Southern California, Saddleback, Orange Coast, and Long Beach. I'm currently precepting at Saddleback right now, and it's a really good hospital. I believe all 3 are magnet hospitals, so that is something to keep in mind. The application opens for the August cohort on May 24th. The units, they kind of vary depending on the volume and departments that are willing to participate at the time of the application, but common ones include med-surg, telemetry, ICU, OR. The program length is 1 year and it is a 2-year commitment. I don't know if they make you sign a contract or not, but they do expect you to stay 2 years. There are 3 cohorts per year. You can also apply in you can apply in August for an October start date. And then requirements include having a current RN license by the start date. You need an BLS certification. You do need a bachelor's of science to work there because it is a magnet hospital, and resume, cover letter, and then the letters of rec per usual. And then there is the QR code there in the corner.
Okay, so CHOC, Children's Hospital of Orange County, they have an RN residency program, and it's about 17 weeks long, and they have 2 cohorts, so one in February and one in August. And so typically they'll release the openings for the February cohort in November, and then the ones for August in May. And then it'll be listed under their job openings. So if you want to scan that QR code, it'll take you to their site, and it'll be listed as clinical nurse 1. Requirements, specifically, they stated they want a BSN along with any other requirements that are unspecific under clinical nurse 1. So of course, probably you'd want your BLS, ACLS, and maybe some recommendations, but other than that, they weren't really specific. And then some specialties that they offer, all of these listed here. And then they have other parts of training, like they have a mentor program for new grads. They Bear All support group. It's for those in the residency program to discuss like any difficult patient cases, and they just want to get it off their chest or get support from their peers. And then any additional, so they get paid time off after they complete the program. A retirement plan, they could reimburse your tuition, and then all of these insurances. So if you want more information, that QR code is right there.
Okay, so I did Loma Linda, and Loma Linda is actually, there's 2 hospitals, so I put them both. So Loma Linda University Health, this is if you're interested in working with the adult population. So I put their most current information, but I also included the QR codes. It takes you directly to their website. So for this upcoming deadline, the application is going to open on May 31st and it will close on June 11th. So basically, this is if you want to work in adult ED, acute care, rehab, intensive care, or OR. It is a paid one-year program. It's kind of similar to what Cole described. There is a contracted period. So what do you need to do if you want to apply? There's an online application, and a lot of these programs, the app online only opens during those dates. So you have to kind of have your ducks in a row: resume, cover letter, and 2 letters of rec. That one's pretty straightforward. It's a lot like the ones we've all been talking about. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital has a little bit more to it. So same same hospital family, but one is children's, one is adults. So the current new grad program, the deadline's going to open on April 26th, which is pretty close, and it will close on April 30th. Personally, I like that they gave 2 of these deadlines that I didn't see on a lot of other new grad websites. So the last day for you to finish your NCLEX would be Friday, August 13th. And they would like to receive your receipt of your California RN license by Monday, August 23rd for a start date of the program on August 30th. So this is very organized. So there's a lot of departments that are participating. So maternity services, pre-op and PACU, NICU, pediatric, heme onc, acute care pediatrics, PICU. They have an intermediate ICU, which is like their step down for peds, pediatric trauma, cardiac ICU, ED. And they actually also have the critical care transport program, which is highly sought after. It's really competitive. And it's, if you're interested in kind of maybe doing flight nursing, travel, trauma type of things. So if you wanted to, you could start there for your new grad program. It is also a paid one-year program with the contracted term. So same thing, online application, 2 letters of rec. Both of these websites state they would love it on school letterhead. And then there are some specific unit certifications required. So the typical BLS is there, but for some of these, you would need your ACLS and your PALS. And then for a couple specific units, you need your NRP and your PAIRS. These are pediatric and neonatal specific certifications. So I put the little QR code up there. Definitely take a look because there's some important details you don't want to miss.
Okay, so for Los Alamitos, this is under Tenet Health Pacific Coast. Their website actually doesn't have like a new grad specific area on their website, so it's kind of difficult to find new grad programs specifically, and they don't have set dates for when they open or close them or start and end dates. It's more just as positions open. So specifically right now, they have a lot of ortho positions open. They have a few ICU and some telemetry. So for ortho and ICU, I did see that they're asking for, obviously you have to be a graduate of an accredited school of nursing, which we all will be. You have to be an active RN, which you will have after that NCLEX. They want you to have BLS, a basic EKG course or equivalent within 90 days after you're hired. And then obviously strong communication skills and demonstrating ability to work with the team. So they don't give as many specific requirements as far as certifications. But I put this QR code for Tenet Health Careers because that's where you would search all of the options. And then the Los Alamitos website, there's also a QR code for that. So we noticed that they do have a lot of openings in April. It's just not specific to when they'll open and what units they'll open. It's just based on what positions they have.
And for Cedar Sinai, the deadline for passing the NCLEX and applying to their program is August 2nd, and their interview dates are September 1st and 2nd, and the interviews start on October 11th. So for example, the 2021 spring cohort, you must apply by March 1st. Interviews are April 7th and 8th, and you need your license by April 8th. So it depends on time of the year. They accept 4 cohorts a year, and the length of the program is 1 year with 2-year commitment contract. You need a 3.0 GPA, a BLS resume, and a personal statement, a transcript, and 2 letters of rec. and they only accept the first 200 applicants. Here's a QR code for more information as well.
Perfect. So for USC Keck, the application opens in May. That's pretty standard, I think, for a lot of these new grads. It's late May, so keep your eyes out around that time. It's open from May 31st to June 8th. The start date would be September 13th. Units available are oncology, ICU, telemetry, med-surg, peri-op, and PACU. The program length is 12 to 16 weeks, but it is a 2-year commitment. And requirements, you need to have a 3.0 GPA, you need to be BLS certified, a fire and safety card, which is a new one. I don't think we've seen that yet. Resume, cover letter, you need to submit an essay, and then you need 2 letters of rec. And again, the QR code is in the corner.
Is Emily here?
I don't think she's here right now.
I can read it.
I can, okay.
Okay, so for Eisenhower Medical Center, the requirements to qualify for the new grad residency program, you need to have a California license by April 19th. So I don't think that's any of us. So we'd have to wait for the next cohort. You have to sign a 2-year contract. You have to have a BSN degree, which we will all have. You must have completed your nursing program within the last 11 months. And that's pretty standard for all new grad. You have to be within that year of graduation to be qualified as a new grad. And then you do have to have a current and active BLS certification through the American Heart Association. Applications are accepted February 1st to 25th. And then the new grad residency would begin in April. So that's the next coming one. I'm sure there are more cohorts per year, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay, and for Scripps Memorial, which is located in the La Jolla, San Diego area, they also offer a new grad residency program. So their residencies last about 40 weeks and they offer 5 cohorts per year. The specialties you can go into include med-surg, definitive observation or like tele, oncology, and cardiac care. And like many other hospitals, Scripps also requires your BLS, references, resumes, etc. And I also noted on the right-hand corner that the upcoming October cohort can start applying in June. And our interview dates are on the screen. And I don't really want to go into the other 4 cohorts because the deadlines have already passed. And yeah, Scripps is a really nice hospital. And although it is a bit far, it's a really great hospital to start your career at.
Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So I did reach out to the education department for Sharp Memorial. I haven't heard back yet, so if I do have any more information, I'll try to get it to you. But Sharp Memorial is a level 2 trauma center located in San Diego. They do have an online application, and they said that they actually have multiple cohorts per year, so you just have to keep your eyes peeled for any new cohorts. I know that the summer cohort was just the deadline actually just passed. So you need to have your RN license by the time the program starts, but you have a good 6 months. So for example, the summer cohort, they applied in February and applications closed, I believe, maybe last week. So they'll start their interviews in the next month or so, and they'll actually start in August. So you have about 6 months to get your license. Just a little information on the hospital itself. It is the first hospital in California recognized by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid as a destination center for mechanical assist devices. And they were the first hospital to use the LVAD, the left ventricular assist device, and you'll learn about that in critical care. And something interesting that I thought I wanted to mention was it's the first hospital in San Diego to offer an employee assistance program for all employees. So it does seem like a really good hospital to work for. And it's also designated as a Planning Tree designated patient-centered care hospital. So if you are interested in more information about it and I get information back from the education department, I'll make sure to send that to whoever is the new board member so they can email that to you.
Okay, so another San Diego option is UC San Diego. And just a little bit of a background, their nursing residency program focuses on latest evidence and supports magnet recognition. So if you're looking for a magnet hospital and you want to go to the San Diego area, this is a great one. They're going to provide 7 4-hour classes held over 6 months. And then you'll be set on your own after that. In order to do unit-based orientation, you have to have a preceptorship of a minimum of 3 months or greater. And let me go to this. So the whole residency program is 6 months long, and you can see that there's 3 times a year that they're going to hire new grads. So December to January, May to June, August to September. Specialties, they have med-surg, ICU, PCU, L&D, postpartum, NICU, ED, and oncology. So this hospital seems to offer a lot more specialties compared to others when you're looking into new grad programs. When you apply, you need resume, cover letter, letters of recommendation, and transcripts. And you can apply before you have your RN, but you just have to pass the NCLEX by the time you start your job there.
And I'm gonna go ahead and read off this slide for Melanie who couldn't make it today. From smallest to largest component of the NCLEX, we have the physiological adaptation component. So that's for caring for patients suffering from acute, chronic, or life-threatening illness, and alterations in body systems, pathophys, and illness management. Next is the pharmacological and parenteral therapies, administration of parenteral treatments and medications. And there's safe and effective care environment. So there's management of care, safety and infection control, health promotion and maintenance, and psychosocial integrity. And the last component is psychosocial integrity. It's the largest component. So it's basic care and comfort and reduction of risk potential. The NCLEX has a minimum of 75 to 265 questions. The time limit you have is 6 hours to take it. And some resources for preparing for the NCLEX, specifically the NCLEX RN. The free resources are Nurse Plus Academy, Khan Academy, some resources are free, and registerednursing.org. The test prep programs that most people use are Union, Hearst, UWorld, Kaplan, and it should be ATI, but ATIO is there. And I can't see the bottom, but the paid NCLEX review includes Saunders, Kaplan, and let me look at the slide somewhere else for the last one. UWorld, Hearst, yeah. Sorry. It's those two.
Okay, so we have our guest speaker today. I'm going to unshare. Okay, so if you want to introduce yourself, maybe say what year you graduated, your board position that you had, and just a little background.
Okay, hi. So my name is Isabel. I graduated in 2020, so last year. And I now work as an ICU float nurse for Mission Hospital. So yeah, that's been cool. I've been working since September and on my own since like the last couple weeks of January. So it's been pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, my position, I was a BLS director when I was in nursing school.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions, you're free to ask them. Either just unmute yourself or add them in the chat, and then any board member could read it off. But I have a quick question. So for job interviews, what do you recommend we not do?
Like getting the interview or like in the interview?
Like prepping for the interview or like even during?
Okay, so for prepping, I don't know if you guys will be in the same situation of like doing all your interviews over Zoom, because that's what I was doing back in when I was interviewing for things. And I honestly think that was really beneficial for me because I'm a really nervous person. And so like, I think if I was actually there my nerves would have been like really, really, really high and like really intense. But what I did was I am a very like meticulous person. So like I wrote out a bunch of answers. Like I was like on forums and like on like Facebook groups, like asking people like, what kind of questions did you guys get when you were interviewing? I asked a lot of the older cohorts, like what kind of questions they were getting when they interviewed. And I kind of basically wrote out formats of answers for like each specific kind of question that I would get. And it's not like I memorized them, but like I just wanted to have a plan and make sure that I wasn't sitting there rambling and rambling and rambling when I actually like did the interviews. And I think, well, that's just the way I think. So like that really helped me because I don't think I could have gone into an interview blind and like I had not prepared any like patient stories or like, you know, things to back up everything that I was saying. Every single question that I ever like got asked, I would back up with like one time when I was in clinical or like one time when I was in nursing school. So I always had like all these patient stories that I was just constantly like running through my mind, like, oh, I could use this if I wanted to say this or that. So I could provide like experience for like for the job. But I think that was really helpful. And if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have been successful at all.
I have a question. Did you join any nursing associations outside of NSA before you applied?
Yeah, so when we're in NSA, we have to do the CNSA too. And then I wanted to go into critical care, so I joined the AACN. So I could put that on my resume and have that on there. I didn't necessarily do like a lot or anything. It did give me access to like different articles and stuff like that. But I just wanted to like make sure that I was within professional organizations that fit the mold of what I wanted to be, to kind of show to people and like whoever I was interviewing with or applying to that I was serious about the field that I wanted to go into. So I had friends who like wanted L&D or like peds. And so they were in like, I think it's A1, like the American Women's Association of Neonatal something. And like whatever the pediatric one was, and like, or the ENA for emergency department people, and just kind of showing to them in that way, if you already know what kind of field you want to go into, that you're serious about it and that you're willing to like kind of go beyond what other people have.
I have a quick question. I don't know if this is an okay question, but like how many places did you apply and did you get multiple offers, or like how did you know you wanted mission, so you only focused on mission, or how did you approach that?
Yeah, I applied to about like 10 places and I interviewed with 3, and I'm working at Mission now. So I kind of like how you guys did for this presentation, my cohort, when we were doing new grad stuff, we had like a big fat list of new grad residencies we wanted to apply to and when those would open and what units were available at those certain hospitals. And then because it was like the peak of COVID, a lot of those residencies didn't open. So like I had anticipated applying to way more places and doing a lot more stuff, but just with the time period and how uncertain everything was, a lot of things were either delayed or like they just never had a cohort at all for that time. So it was a little bit unexpected, but I found some success with the ones that I applied to. And out of the 3 interviews I got, one of them I feel like I got help from like a clinical instructor who like also works there and stuff, but the other 2 like I had like no affiliation with at all, and I still was able to get interviews. So.
Issa, were all of the applications you submitted for ICU, or did you kind of pick and choose, or how did you go about that? Because I know you wanted ICU.
Yeah, I definitely only put out ICU applications. I like went in with the mentality of like, for this first round of applying to different hospitals, I was going to go for exactly the unit that I wanted, just to see. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to like kind of waste the opportunity by not going for the things that I wanted immediately. And then if I was getting like complete no's from everywhere, then I would branch open and open up a little bit. But I got interviews and then I landed my job, so I didn't have to, but I really wanted to focus on only applying to the things that I would actually want to have a job in and actually want to start my career at.
How has it been though, being in this program or being at Mission?
It's been pretty good. It's pretty unexpected. I mean, we had a pretty bad COVID surge in like January-ish, starting in December really. And that kind of switched things up because I was still orienting at the time. And like our hospital was just like so understaffed, and like there were times where I'd go in to orient, but then they would pull my preceptor because like we didn't have enough nurses. So then I would just end up alone really before like I was supposed to be alone. And so it was a lot of like, it was like really nervous, but like exciting at the same time. And I feel like I learned a lot in that time just because like I had to really kind of step up. But I mean, you're always scared as a new grad just to make mistakes in general, but I felt okay knowing that like my staff and like all like my charge nurse and like all my coworkers, like they knew I was new and like they knew that they were asking things of me that like normally wouldn't have been asked of. And so I felt really supported and I felt like I had a lot of help, which I was really grateful for, because I know for some places, like some of my friends, like on med surg floors, they were getting like out of ratio already, and like they had just started like being alone like weeks ago, and they had like 6 or 7 patients at a time, and I was just like really stressed out about that. But I felt really supported, and I felt like I was able to do well with what I was given, you know, circumstance wise.
After you graduated, how soon did you take your NCLEX? And like, how did you study for it?
Oh, okay. So I didn't really truly start studying until I booked my NCLEX date, I feel, because it all goes back to COVID, but we didn't know when we were going to get our attestations to test, our ATTs, and everyone was saying like, oh, it's so backed up, like you're not going to get it for months. And I had this UWorld subscription that like was only like, once you activate it, you only have that certain amount of time before your subscription closes, and then you lost it. So I didn't want to waste it, and then like, God forbid, like I didn't get my ATT yet, and then like I had no study materials, or I'd have to buy it again. So I tested in August, I think like August 18th. So I started truly studying in like July. And I was pretty insane. I went through all of those questions on UWorld like twice over. So you could do it all and then you can reset it and then do it again. And I was doing like 4 tests a day. And I was doing 75 questions each time I did a test, because ideally I would pass in 75 or pass in 60, since it was pass in 60 back when I did COVID things. But I would just take tests over and over and over, and then go over all my missed questions over and over and over. I was like taking notes at one point, but it just felt like so redundant, because like I was like writing things out and then like not remembering them. And then it was like, it's not necessarily going to be that material anyway when I take my real NCLEX. So it was all about like finding out how to read those questions and like answer the questions. It's like everything is worded a specific way, I feel. And I used UWorld mainly, and that really felt like it translated really well when I took the NCLEX.
Just bouncing off of Brittany's question, do you think you could have taken the NCLEX sooner, like all COVID aside and your ATT, say you got it, and like, because sometimes we hear, oh, you need to study for a month, or oh, you need 2 months. Like, what is your take on that? Could you have taken it sooner if it was possible?
I think I could have taken it sooner. I mean, when I actually took the NCLEX, I was in there for like 30 minutes and I was out. Like, it was like the quickest thing I'd ever, like the quickest nursing related test I had ever taken. I honestly felt kind of worried because I was like, why am I out so fast? You know? But for those last like 2 weeks of me studying, I was like, oh, I should just book it tomorrow and just like take it right now. Like I should just take it. But then I was like, okay, well, if I fail it, then I'm going to be like, wow, it's because I didn't follow my plan and I didn't, like, I gave myself a specific period of time. And so I was like, if I fail it by taking it early, that's on me. So I was like, let me just follow what I had originally planned. But I remember every day I was texting my friends. I was like, that's it. I'm going to change my test date and I'm going to take it tomorrow. And then 2 of my friends actually ended up doing that. They just took the test early, changed their date, didn't say anything to anyone. And then they were like, by the way, we took our NCLEX and passed. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I didn't have the balls to do that. But if I think I could have, I think I studied way more than I needed to, but whatever, I passed anyway, so.
I have a question.
Mhm.
At your hospital, do you have like a cohort of new grads that you're kind of working with all the time, or are you alone on the unit, or how does that work exactly?
So for my specific hospital, we hired, so I'm ICU float. So I float between the surgical ICU and the cardiac ICU, and they cross-train me on both. But for my hospital, they hired 2 ICU float new grads, one to stay on surgical ICU just as a surgical ICU nurse, and then 2 cardiac ICU new grads. So that's a total of 5. So, and because I float, like it's just like pretty random who I'm seeing every day when I go to work. But that was our cohort of like new grads. And then they put us in, we had to take like classes for, I think 10 weeks. And in those classes, we were also with people who were just new to the ICU specialty. So people who were coming from like DSU or like med surg, they were in the same critical care class with us. So we kind of had that kind of cohort in a sense of like people who were just generally new to ICU, and then 5 of us who were new to nursing also. And we kind of not hang out because it's COVID, but like when I see them on the unit, it's like I know that like we are on the same like mental wavelength compared to like all the rest of the people who are like already nurses and stuff. So yeah.
What did the classes cover when you were in there for the first 10 weeks?
They were so long. It was like 8-hour classes, and then we also had they're called like echo modules. I don't know what it stands for, ECCO, and it's like what the AACN has for like critical care nursing, and it's just like it covers like every single body system, so like one day would be about neuro, the next day would be about cardio and stuff like that. And we also have these modules that took forever to complete, and we got like certifications with each of them too, but when we took those modules, but it went over basically everything critical care related in every single different body system.
Did those modules feel like you were in nursing school again, or did it feel different?
A lot of it was like very in depth, and it was also, but I was interested because it was like there are things that I'll probably see every day at work, so I was like, I better know this stuff pretty well. And it was yeah, it was like really intense. It felt like reading the textbook almost, like our critical care textbook, but also like it had a bunch of like interactive like questions that you had to answer. So like you had to really pay attention or else you weren't going to pass. And then each module had a little test at the end, and you only had like 2 tries to take the test, or else like you had to like talk to your manager about being bad at that subject or whatever. So I was like, I didn't want to talk to my manager, so I was taking notes. But like we have access to those modules for like a whole year or something. So when I have downtime at work, sometimes I'm just like opening up a module and I'm like, okay, let me just go through this again and just kind of reinforce this information, because a lot of it is like, some of it was like taking care of open heart patients. Like I'm not necessarily gonna be ready to take care of an open heart patient yet, So it's like things that I'll either get to later on in my career or like things that I can like work up to, and I have all the information that I need in these modules.
Anyone else have any last minute questions before we start to close up? No? All right, well, thank you for speaking and, you know, giving you, okay, I just read the chat. Just giving advice and your experience from that. So I'm gonna share the raffle. So I don't know, okay. Can you guys see that? Okay, so we're doing a raffle for 4 $25 Amazon gift cards because we surpassed 1,000 accumulated hours for service. So this is totally random. So if you're selected, just if you could privately message me in the chat your preferred email address. Okay.
And also just to add on, these are the names of everyone who has at least 10 hours.
Okay. Is she here? I don't think so. I could write her down. That was so close to my name. I was like, I hope it keeps moving. Okay, so that's 1, 3 more. Okay, 2 more. Okay, last one. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, you could just reach out to me or any of the board members. And just to remind you guys, for CORDS, the deadline for hours is March 15th. And then just make sure you're a paying member. And also for the board applications, they're still open. We have about 4 more openings. But other than that, no set extension deadline. So as soon as possible, if you're still interested, go ahead and fill out that application, record your little speech and send those to Tina. And then I think we have our code.
Yeah, I have the code. So if you're watching this recorded, just the code is MAR15. That's MAR15. And you can send that to Brittany to get your hours for watching this recorded. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you, everyone.